For a guy for a guy of his caliber, he needs to understand. For a guy who raps that he does, he needs to understand what it means for a black person like myself to be doing what I am doing for my people.
Hey.
But you, Stogie, get out of here.
The last OG. What up, everybody? And we're back with another really hot episode of POPcast. And today, I'm joined by two guests. Slikour on the left, and I got Tshego on the right. Well, on my right and left, but of course. Today, I am joined by two guests because Scoop he's out in the Eastern Cape. He's with his family at the moment, so he wasn't able to join us. But he will be back next episode. Please don't ask weird questions. No, he's not gone. He's coming back. It's just, sometimes when you got to tend to family, you got to tend to family. But of course, I've got other family members who are joining me today just to, kind of weigh in on the conversation, what's hot and happening in South Africa, what's burning on the streets, and what's burning up our cell phones. We're going to get into that in a moment. But Slikour, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. He called me I'm a Tanis younger guys here scooping,
no.
I thought that's I thought that's Feaster's back,
Oh, no. It's a lighter version of Feaster.
You know what I mean? Almost there.
Almost as Feaster. I mean, he's also a DJ, but it's not as Feaster. It's a Tshego. What up, Tshego?
What's happening?
Are you good?
Nice.
All right, so we're out here at Drama in Braamfontein. And this, I won't lie, this is actually my first time here. I thought I had been here before, but I haven't. But that's Diego's fault. We'll get into that a little bit later as to why. But it's a very beautiful establishment. Come through and check it out. It is in Braamfontein. Tshego is the man with the plan who handles the things that do the things right here. We're going to get into that a little bit later as well about the club culture that's happening in South A. But of course, we're going to kind of kick things off with entertainment news and what's been hot and happening on the streets. A really interesting interview that you dropped this past week. About Nadia having left Family Tree. Do you know she left?
I knew. I saw from Twitter.
Okay.
Okay. First time I'm hearing this, but...
Slikour?
Yeah, I mean, she hit me up like last week when he did the interview and she's like, is the interview out yet? Because I don't want it to come out from the interview. I think she wanted to do it.
Oh, she wanted to drop it first. Okay.
But I was like, yeah, it's coming out in a week. But I don't know whether, I think we are now, she still never posted it out,
Okay.
But there's, obviously she's got a respect for Casper and what Casper's done for her. So she also didn't want it to come out like disrespectful in any way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah, she's out there doing the indie.
Yeah, man.
Windy City.
And I guess it was also kind of like, I think it took a couple of people back as well, getting some of the information to be like, yo, there was a point where they didn't speak for like 8 months. I was like, 8 months?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy. But obviously, by the end of it, she had said that they kind of patched things up, I guess.
Yeah. I think that like, they are cool. I mean, if she's seen, I don't want to let anyone see my baby that I'm not cool with.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, if she's already won and seen the baby, I think they super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I was not sure about because I mean, because I could see things. I thought that I hadn't seen them communicating. Hence, I brought it up, right? And also, Mahogany, who's like an antagonist, a Casper antagonist.
He does that for his own entertainment. I really feel like people need to also take him with a pinch of salt.
Of course, I mean, of course they do. But obviously, like, but I guess Casper also receives it in a certain way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that people also like, and they just do it like a lot of people. They just do it just because. But the receiver or the person that you always like focusing on, it doesn't always land as it should.
Yeah.
So, when I also saw that like Pindi, which I only found out was during the interview that they're going out, you know. When I started seeing Mahogany with Pindi a lot, I was thinking that, has this Casper and Nadia thing related to Mahogany also. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could understand if Casper also could have
Caught feelings over that.
caught feelings, because these are people who have publicly and it's one thing to criticize a person, but like publicly put him down for the work that he does, whether it's good or not, but they publicly always make sure that they target him. You know what I mean? So I could understand Casper having those feelings, if anything, because if I was in his shoes, I would.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a tough time in the entertainment streets. But as long as you know which side you kind of stand on, and of course, as well, like you mentioned, that everybody's kind of happy she's seen the baby.
Yeah.
That's what's important at the end of the day.
Should people be standing on sides, though?
I don't know. I don't think so,
man. Because look, with the family tree, no one knew. It wasn't a thing of
and
like...
it's been a while.
Yeah,
if she's talking about even before the Bride show, that was a long time ago,
Yeah, no one felt like family tree disappeared. It's just like they went silent.
Yeah.
No one knew. But we knew in the background, they're still together, but they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But then,
it doesn't change it. For me, I think that the biggest problem, though, in the game, particularly the hip-hop game, and why it struggles and takes time to get momentum, is because of the sides.
Yeah.
Even if people are not saying it, it's the various labeling of this is the new wave, this is the old guys, these are the guys that do this. There's so much labeling in the hip hop genre that like we don't see that actually our gateway is all one thing. We are all eventually going to be told by the streaming companies what we can or can't do.
Yeah.
We are all eventually going to be told by the brands what we can or can't do. We're eventually going to be told by the government where we can or can't perform.
Yeah.
So the truth of the matter is that I don't care whether you're a Nasty C, whether you're a Big Closer, whether you're a Casper, whether you're AKA, if you cannot understand that like the strongest connection we have is each other, because the gateway is not me. The gateway is not me. The gateway is the person that's actually making the rules across the board for all of us in our community, because none of us own that we jump on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Hey, it's tricky. But I guess there's also ways and means we can kind of maneuver through it, because we might not own it, but we can kind of create our own narrative through it. You know what I mean? And take certain directions with that as well. But I guess, you know what, shout outs to Nadia for also owning her own narrative, taking her own decisions. And I think you can also see like there's a lot of confidence coming through from her as well, from a boss perspective, you know what I mean? Which I say shout out. I mean, when we interviewed her as well for Pop Radio, you could see she's very much like, I'm in my own, I'm not depending on anybody, I'm running this race and, see me where I'm going, support me where I'm going, you know what I mean? So big ups to Nadia for taking that step. I think it's very big and it's very brave of her, and salute. Just on, before we move on to other topics, I did want to also then say, pay our respects to Tshego Tula. Now that obviously speaking about Casper, because he did do that collaboration with him as well, who passed away this past week, a South African music legend. I think a lot of people who grew up on his music know how painful it is to kind of lose a legend like that. So just obviously paying our condolences to his family and rest in peace. What are some of your memories of Tshego Tula? I don't know if, did you listen to his music, Tshego?
I wouldn't say I listen to his music, but I do know him.
Okay,
So
that's
I'm
good
not
enough.
gonna comment and then say, hey, I'll be honest and say, hey, I do know him, but I didn't listen to his music.
Yeah, I didn't want to put the spotlight on Sia because I'm sure he has like all the vinyls at home.
No, it's a funny thing in my house with my family. So my wife, she's literally like the boss of all of us. You know, me, the kids, everybody. So,
as it should be.
Yeah. So there's the ongoing joke, where like we go, you waiting for your name to be called. With the kids also, so we're like, when one of our names gets called, it's over. You know what I mean? So, obviously it's because of his song. So I guess now it's also going to be done with a little bit of loss in it, But like that's the power of the music that he created. For me, that is one of the strongest songs that says so much. You know what I mean? So I mean, look, we grew up on his music as kids also. You know, to a point where it's transitioning into my kid was talking about Snoop Dogg. You know, like now he was going, oh, but imagine Snoop Dogg just appears in some random Marvel movie. And I was like, for my kid to think that it would be, not just Snoop Dogg, but it would be crazy for Snoop Dogg. So now if I can bring Sepetulu into our family narrative and my kids haven't probably even heard the songs, but they just know you waiting for your name to be called. The music is translated beyond, you know?
Hey, man, it's crazy. But I guess it's also legendary music that lives on because that's why the whole country was just in awe and everyone was just so sad because it's music that everybody's heard at least at one point in their lives. You might not even know it's a Sepetula song, but you might have heard it at a wedding or like a celebration or a birthday because Black people will bring in those throwbacks, one occasion or the other. All right, so still speaking.
Even another guy, just to say who passed. I know a couple of people passed this week.
Yeah.
Pat Shang also.
Okay.
He was super stylish.
Okay.
He was like the Keith Sweat of bubblegum. You understand? Stylish and everything else. So he also passed away this week.
Oh yes, and also Liz the chef. Almost lost that. Big condolences to all those people that we lost this past week. Liz the chef, I think, was shocking for me because, you know, when you interact with someone on social media and then it's like, now they won't be there to interact with you anymore. You won't see them on your TV screens. You won't hear about them. It's actually very sad and a very sad loss. But I do think the country definitely needs to kind of, I don't know, we need to give each other a big hug at this stage of the game because there's so much happening. Outside of the looting that's happening in the country, the political issues that are happening in the country, you also find that sometimes us as entertainers and some people who have a voice on social media also kind of feel as though we don't have that right to speak. And I saw a lot of artists who were also tweeting about that. Black Coffee tweeted that, Casper tweeted that. So many people tweeted it this past week is that, what do you guys want from us? Because we keep quiet, you wild. We say something, you wild. Where must we sit? Where do you want people to sit, Tshego?
You know, as an artist, I mean, as an entertainment industry, I mean, you individual, number one. You are human as everyone else. It's the same as I, for myself, if I don't want to comment on something, I'm not going to comment. I'll keep quiet. You know, there's no need to say to the world or on Twitter. Maybe you can discuss it with your friends. Hey, what's going on with the world? This should be done, that. But individually, I don't feel like you need to tell everyone how you feel. You understand? So from that side, we should not judge artists because sometimes they're also looking at this might destroy me because we're in an industry of where, you know, we cancel you.
Yeah.
Say the wrong thing, the industry cancels you. Say something, say nothing, the industry cancels you. So where? What can artists do? What can entertainers do?
I don't know, because there's the constant badgering about, no, you've got an influence, you've got numbers, you need to say something. And then you say the wrong thing, and then it's like, okay, but don't say anything. Why did you even speak up? This is not your forte. Just make music. And it's like, okay, but...
I mean, you know, for me, there's layers of it. I've got a personal view. It doesn't have to be popular. It doesn't have to be right.
Yeah.
I've got a definition of what a porn is, right? A porn is something or someone that talks about another person or events that are happening with so much conviction to make someone else believe that they know what's happening. But in the meantime, that event or that person that's happening knows that that person is wrong, but they're never going to correct them. You know? I think that like on social, when we talk about the political things that are happening in the country, the relationships with politicians and each other, they run so deep. These guys have spent time in jail together.
Yeah.
These guys, they run so deep that like we are only getting the tip of it. So whenever one wants to comment on politics, you must remember that like it's like me trying to comment on your family, your relationship with your mother and your parents and your family. You know what I mean? So 80% of, or 90 or 95% of people who are communicating on social media are pawns, right?
Yeah.
Rightfully saying that like, yes, the government is supposed to look around over us, whatever the case be. So but the truth of the matter is that like all this money, whether you are saying that the Guptas with Zuma, or whether you are saying that Ramaphosa with all the other companies that he owns that make him a billionaire and his children are involved in, the point is that all this money though is literally, we are literally pawns fighting about families' monies, not ours. I haven't heard anybody talk about like, we can talk about land, but the industry, and I know you talked about ownership, and yes, it's great that we could have our narrative, but already in the entertainment industry, from the company, the media companies that are coming in, there's so many things coming in, or the global restaurants that are coming in, so many things that are coming in this country, which are bought in by who and who owns them. So where are the black things? So the reason why black people are literally fighting is because they are not a part of the economy or the supply chain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when we get into social media, 80 or 90% of the people speaking on social media don't know what they're talking about, including the famous people. So let me. So
basically, shut up.
So listen.
That's what you're saying.
No. So basically, all I'm saying is that if 90 or 95% of South African community can literally be misinformed and just also have opinions, why shouldn't the celebrities also be wrong too and have opinions? Do you understand? So I'm just saying is that don't get it confused. The political relationships of the different parties, it's like Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And all of us are literally just like fans, and we're saying, but we should be eating. What we need to do to help our communities, in my view, when there is things like the looting, if there's family that's involved, you need to call them. The narrative that like the masses of South Africans need to be having is, let's start building what you're building here. Let's start building businesses that create work. Let's start support. Let's not get those guys involved. Meaning like all these families because one way or another, it's not about if it's the Pakistanis or the Indians giving us money, or it's the Westerns or the Russians giving us money, or it's the Americans. The point is that it's going to certain families, not to us. So we need to literally divorce. I said blacks are fools and y'all are mad. We need to divorce ourselves from the expectations of...
What that's
Look, and that's how we need to divorce ourselves from the expectations of politicians and politics. And we need to start... And that's why they distract us, because we stop looking at helping each other. That's why we want to jump on social media and pull each other down. But we are all struggling. We don't have land. We don't have a proper industry from a music industry and entertainment industry. Our biggest communication resource, SABC, the most powerful communication resource, is literally like struggling. Do you know what I mean? And by the way, and you know who's going to take that resource? It's going to be either a private company similar to what's happened to SAA, or it's going to be like a global company. And then we're going to literally now do things with global company, global rules. So essentially, once again, our community is going to be disempowered. So for me, I'd say black people, celebrity nithi anazi nanazi ukuthi kuyenzakala ngoba sihlupheka sonke ngiyakhuluma manga sihlupheka sonke just because I've got hustler money doesn't mean I've built like an economy to build a business. And black people, we confuse the hustler money as the economical enterprise money, and usually that's hand to mouth money. Exactly. The money that you guys see some of us have is hustler money. We literally need to have like shout out to guys like a legends, Sheldon, the shoe guys, Drip and Batu. Shout out to guys like that who literally like and it's not easy to get to that place, No, it's not easy. Guys like that literally have transcended hustle. They're now into economical, where they're making a difference and creating jobs by doing but still, their next step is, how do we start owning the mall so we can do the rent? So those are the real guys that we need to push up and support, and also develop more of those and focus on that instead of us literally focusing on all these other restaurants from the States. Because now I want to speak to Rick Ross to tell me Wingstop. Now I'm eating a Wingstop. I'm a rapper. Can I open have a Wingstop franchise? Because the truth of the matter is that the franchises, the various business, the entertainment businesses are all owned by who?
Yeah.
And who let them in if they're not owned by us? And what are they getting also if they're not owned by us? So this whole thing of literally like looking at like a Zuma from a Gupta perspective or is a micro part of the macro issue that we have. A bunch of people are benefiting and they just isolate who they want to point out. But the main people is that Tina as masses. I don't care where you are, as long as you are struggling and you don't have a prospect for work and you don't know how you're going to get started for work in a country like us because there's a disenfranchise of you being positioned in a so-called white monopoly economy. You cannot fit in a white monopoly. If you're sitting there and you are literally like going, yeah, no, you are pawn. Just like I am a pawn. So that's why I'm in social media, because I'm singing porn. You know, I'll speak to you. I'll be invited to POPcast. I'll do interviews with artists. Oh shit! I'll do interviews with artists that literally want to talk. Those that don't want to talk, I'm force nabo. You know, those guys who want to build. That's who we build with. Yeah. But other than that, I suga ngazosihlanyela nonke namapon, nathi amapon, nathi masikhuluma njengama artists, hey, government this, government akanandaba nathi. Forget it.
That's the tricky part about what lockdown has showed us is how much support we actually have as the entertainment industry and how things are, you know.
One thing I've noticed during lockdown is that the entertainment industry sees nothing from the government. We're on our own.
Yeah,
I've seen that, and one thing I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, why as an artist, right? And lockdown showed me this, that all the artists were complaining they had savings, but they used it all up. They had that, but everything got depleted. So as entertainment, why don't we have like a union?
Hey, that conversation about the union has been brought up so many times, but the problem. Can I answer your question as to why we don't have a union? Because everyone in the entertainment industry has an ego. So the question then comes in, who's going to run this union? Who's going to speak for us? Who's going to speak for my rights? Who's going to 1, 2, 3? That's the biggest problem.
But
and that's why it will never come together, because everybody's too big-headed to actually bring themselves together to say, let's work together to fight this thing. Okay,
but besides that, from my side, what I see, when I look at, this other day, I spoke to a broker, just out Fiji. And he came to me, he's like, entertainment industry, this is what I'm going to do for you to make sure that whatever happens now, you are secured. And that's the first time I found out something like that. Artists are not taught financially from the back end. You understand? They see the money, they see the gigs, they see that. But from the back end also, I mean, get some knowledge in terms of how can I make this money last, even if something happens. And that side, we can start there, and then from there we can build a small union. Maybe I don't know. But I feel like we need some financial education on how to handle money.
Look, I'll be real with you. If we were into farming and agriculture is the most important thing, the private sector literally goes, we're going to invest so much in this agricultural space because it gives us so much value and it helps so many people, right? Yeah. Because the entertainment world, from a monetary perspective, it's hard to measure the money it makes, right? Particularly from a corporate perspective. So right now with youth, the youth don't have so much disposable income. They can tell you how much they're spending, right? But youth don't have disposable income that they control. So because youth don't have disposable income that they control, we literally in a situation where entertainment really speaks to young people. So how important is it to save these young people? So if the private sector doesn't see the value of saving young people through campaigns, through creating ideas, and through a union, I don't know. I know a couple of things, but I don't know how to run a union. The thing about us with artists is that we want to start a union. Yeah. You've got things like Act Now, which was started by the part. I know the Kwele Debza brothers, literally, which they've been doing a lot of work around that. But it's not their profession.
Yeah.
So we also need intervention from people, and that's why you can't go white people, black people. Some of this intervention is coming from white people to kind of go, which could be private sector at times, kind of go, guys, this is how you need to build this union, and this is how. So literally, we need intervention also. But like sometimes you got to realize that no one cares about the young black man if the young black man is not making them money. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just saying right now, artists are so foolish fighting each other because we are all in the same struggle. Don't get confused by the fact that he's got more views and he's got more this. We are all in the same struggle, and the only way we're going to save ourselves is if we can see who we are for ourselves. Not see to who because I'm outside now, I just saw a brand and Shimza's on the billboard. Oh, because Shimza's on the billboard, now I'm seeing Shimza through the billboard. I need to see Shimza for who he is, not for what the brand sees him as. But this is the problem with our community. We see each other for what like the corporate world sees us, not but for who we are. That, yo, Cosmo, I know where Shimza comes from.
Yeah.
This guy comes from, and for him to do that, he deserves to get that.
Yeah, he's put in a lot of work. He deserves to be there.
And a lot of people literally like put in a lot of work and they don't get the results, and they get sick. But like we got to see each other for where we come from. I don't know what your background is, but I can already stereotype you being a person of color, be running a place like this. I can already go, well, B, I'm sure that you've probably gone through a lot to get to, without you even telling me your story. You know, because the black story is the story of color is typical. We come from something.
Yeah.
So we need to see ourselves from where we come from and not what we receive, you know?
And support each other at the end of the day. You know, we got to make sure that we unite. I don't know about unionize because that's another story. But we'll unite at some point in the conversation. Yeah. All right. But then there's also somebody who was also kind of, you know, blowing us all up on the social media. And I say us because Nadia also caught a couple of shots fired. And I'm sure he's watching the episode because he does that anyway. But Slikour, what's your take on how things have been attacking you personally within the entertainment space? Ngapha, you're dealing with Stogie, who's speaking to you about a song that you've brought up on your website, and now he's feeling as though when you're kind of attacking him, whatever the case may be, maybe you have personal matters. On the other end, your phone's also kind of blowing up because Nota's just saying, hey, when I'm calling you names and saying that you should have controlled certain situations when it came to the Questa thing. Are you not tired of dealing with these people?
I mean, you know, this is the thing about the game, right? The game is got people who have certain values, you know? And in my view, I mean, maybe like just to clear some things, and I'm doing it only because I'm here at the POPcast, you know?
Exclusive.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what Nota's talking about, saying that I'm going out there claiming I don't know what work he's talking about.
Do you owe him royalties?
No.
Huh? From Bada Bing?
No.
Do you not owe him Yanga and Questa and Nota also wants those royalties? Where are Nota's royalties?
No, I mean, like, and particularly even in my music, you know, he hasn't made any contribution in my music, right? In my work. Secondly, all the Questa albums, the ones that were released, everyone that produced, their names is on the production credits. The albums haven't been released on digital. I don't know what he's talking about, right? And on top of that, like I haven't been a part of Bada Bing since 2010. So when he literally talks about anything 2010, post 2010, I don't know what he's talking about, right? So, you know, I'm being 100 with you, you know? When he says that I'm taking credit for work that I don't know what he's done for me, right? to be honest.
So what's your relation with him if he's done nothing for you?
I mean, Nota through Smacks, who is my partner, I met Nota through Smacks. And as a guy who was working as an intern, I don't know really what their relationship was, obviously, with Smacks. He was helping out, and he's resourceful.
Didn't he produce a song for Smacks?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. I don't know. You know what I mean? But one thing Nota is, I cannot take away from the fact that he's resourceful. I cannot take away from the fact that he's super smart. The thing about it is that, and I'm not going to respond to him because he's been calling me. I called him and I said, Smacks brought you to us. And I think that these things that you're saying might hurt him more than me. I had that conversation with him, and in his words, he said, Sia, you know the game. I'm just playing the game.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And he would call me and he says, I need you to support me on this. These are the calls. I mean, I've got messages where he says, I need you, this. I don't call this man.
Okay.
The only time I would have engaged with him during was if I was trying to get through to Questa. In all the opportunities I've presented to Questa, I haven't taken a cent. I sent it to them. Big brands, whatever, I sent it to them. So I don't know what he's talking about saying that I don't know what he's talking about owing him. He talks about BlackBerry. I know he was mentioning the BlackBerry campaign. And he said that I don't know what he did. And he said there was 180,000. I don't know how much he was saying. But the point is that, like, if you're working as an intern or you're doing whatever you're doing, and that's the invoice, and that money that's coming in is paying everybody. It's not like someone is sitting there going, working for a restaurant going, the restaurant, and he's like a waiter going, the restaurant is making so much because I've saved so many tables. I should actually be getting whatever, the lion's share of it. It's a bit strange, right? So in my personal capacity, I'm not aware of anything he's talking about, and I don't have and when he talks about things like, I don't have a relationship with him. I only know 2 times where I called Nota. Within the 10 years maybe 5 times even. Maybe it was a deal that came through for Questa, another deal that came through for Questa, which I handed over to them. Recently, maybe like when I say recently, 12, 18 months ago, I needed to just get some information. When he started at Orchard, he was linking me up with, I wanted to do a deal that I'm about to do with other people now with regards to with Orchard, but Orchard couldn't see my vision. So, because he was sitting in that role. And then I called him because I needed him, because I was doing some research just to understand streaming numbers. But other than that, he's the one always calling me.
So what's your relationship? Why did you offend him so much that he would swear at you and call you out the way that he has? Yeah.
I know I can.
So you can't do.
But let me be honest with you. I don't want to be tough, some things hurt. You dig? And for me, those things are like I don't believe that's the extent you want. You want to show people who you are, by saying that, like, I can call Nonnie's name in a boardroom to say this is the great work Nonnie's doing. Or I can call Nonnie's name on social media and go, Nonnie, she's a slut, she's a hoe, I can use your name in different places. I can use your name for value. I could use your name at a lower frequency. You know what I mean? So you got to choose where you want to go in life. And when you're going to be hateful and you want to create, and you just want to say things that literally make people angry, you got to choose if that's really your frequency. We don't respond because that's not my frequency. Right?
I may have chosen not to answer the phone, if I must be honest.
But truthfully, and I generally similar to younger Questa, generally, like, you care for people. Like, I care for Nota to assert as a human being.
Yeah.
But, like, I also need to know that, like, I can't be who he is. And like, the things that he's saying do hurt. You know what I mean? And with them hurting, I go, when I respond to him, do I respond to him as on social media as everybody else, like that's the pawns, or do I speak to him like, yo, come see me face to face and this, which he's not gonna do. Similarly to the thing that you're saying with Stogie.
You're right. He's a Twitter troll. But then when you pick up the phone and you speak to him in person, he's not as angry as he is in person.
I mean, the reason he's all the things he said on the interview calling me, he'd never. I told him, I said, Nota, in my life, and I'm glad I've been I've always had people who don't want me to move a certain way. And it's normal because it's like you, Noni, there are some people just for you being yourself, they just don't want you to be, they hate you, right? Similar to you. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And I said to him, even if you had to be that person, you are adding to those people. There's nothing new, right? But I'm not going to be you. I cannot say I hate Nota. I cannot say that like he's a. I can say the things that he's saying are hurtful. But I'm not gonna address him on social media because he's not gonna see me. Like Stogie, like when he goes on social media and I
What
mean,
happened there?
I mean, Stogie, it's like, I'm talking about like the way that track that Switch did. I'm literally like, at least my team, what we say when we go, we need to remind people about like some of the great things that happen in the game.
So it was Wave Go with Nasty.
Yeah, we
That's
need
a
to
hot song.
Yeah, we were like, we need to remind people. This is my team is like, yo, let's remind people about the game because people always think that it's now, it's current, but like the game comes from something. So this is a thing that like the team decides to go. Let's do like a weekly thing where we kind of throw back, you know, whatever. So when we throw back where you go, we're reminding people who switches. You dig? We're reminding people of like of that joint with all those lyrics, right?
Yeah.
And everybody else. So, you know, that's the post that goes out. The reason why we do it is because we do want to trigger a Dumi. We do want to trigger a Switch. We do want to trigger a youngster. We do want to trigger them to maybe pull out their phones and go, you know, this is what happened at this time.
Yeah.
Because what it does, because he did say some things that I never knew, like, wow, yo, this is Nasty. Like, there's a kid watching there going, so Nasty really wasn't going to make it on that track? But this is where he is now. I mean, Stogie was saying some incredible stories that we don't have sight of. None of us have sight of, right? And that's what the point we're doing is Slick on Live. We want to trigger it so other people to, like if I talk, like next week, if we talk about what like the Cash Time album did, you know, I mean, KO's Skanda World Republic. I mean, when we talk about that, it's important because someone's going to go, remember, that was the first video that went to 1 million views because people are forgetting. And you know, when people forget, it erases the history. And Stogie's a guy who's educated enough to know this, you know, but he had to tell his story without taking a shot at us. And I was going to also send him a message, like on the comments. But I said, but then that's me being like him because here's my relationship with Stogie. Stogie B, I like that verse of the year thing. Why don't we do it a monthly thing? It's like, let's go, boom. Stogie, yo, I think we got a partner for verse of the month. Let's go, boom. Yo, Stogie, you know, let me see if I can get our partner to do a verse of the month every year. Cool. Yo, then he calls me, yo, Slick, I'm having a problem with brand XXX. You know, they want me to do this with Sway. Let me introduce you to the brand manager, Stogie. Boom, boom, boom. 2-3 weeks later or a month later, now Stogie has a show through that brand that like I kind of connected. Not to say it was because of me. But, you know, obviously I connected.
Just gave them context.
We help each other. Do you dig? Now, for you to literally like... Oh, my bad. I want to show you. For you to like go...
You can see Sia doesn't smoke. Struggling.
For you to do a whole show to shoot me down, so you could tell this great story. When all you had to do was just do your and tell the great story and actually acknowledge that there's a team of young people at Slick on Live
who are showing you love.
Who are showing you love, you know? It's not like you are Madonna. Who are showing you, we are not a numbers platform. We're a music platform. We don't care whether there's 100, 600, 700, or whether it's the music is good platform, right? So for him to take the shot, it's one of those things where I go, I've just showed you the relationship I have with Stogie. It's a relationship where we help each other. Like Dimples calls me, says, yo, see, POPcast, you know what I mean? We help each other, right? That's the energy. Why do we have to get onto social media and act like we actually can't help each other and reach out to each other? especially Dallas, and I don't, when the kids can do this. I'm like, okay, it's cool. It doesn't have to. They don't have to respect. They don't have to care about what we put in the game. Those guys, they don't. They don't have to. They're not obligated to go. Oh, those are they're not. But Stogie, my G, you know better. I'd be madder at him than going. Nah, I'm not gonna do an interview. I'm not. It's okay, guys, because I'm not trying to say that you guys should just because I'm that guy from that place. You should. I don't think like that. But you, Stogie, get out of here.
The last OG.
No, I mean, and I put that on Ammunition. I put that on Wicked. I put that on Selvin. For them niggas to literally do something without them reaching out or even snacks or even I put that on all those niggas.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas are older. Yeah. Y'all niggas are smarter.
And they should know better.
Stop acting like you are literally a new wave, nigga. Because the new wave will forgive them.
Hey, it's tricky, yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it though.
I see you. Look, I get where you're coming from because you really just feel like from a respect perspective, you've worked with each other, you have come up from nothing to something. You guys brought hip hop to what it is today, to the point where so many people can have opinions, to the point where so many people can have jobs. And us sitting here all have jobs because of hip hop. You know what I mean? He's a DJ, he's a club owner. I'm here, I'm doing the Popcast. You've also got your music platform. At the end of the day, we're working because of hip hop, so we need to be able to respect where that comes from.
And that's what it is. Just go back soon to be club owner.
Soon to be club owner.
I want people to say, this guy owns the club now.
But nonetheless, he's still here.
But here's the thing, and I don't want to be like, I wouldn't be saying all these things if I never sent him a message, by the way, Stogie T. But he never responded. He did. So my thing is that if he had responded to me, because I did send him a message after he said that on the DMs, I said, yo, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't about you. This is what it is. You know what I mean? I literally sent him a message where he could have responded and said, because he apologized on the Stogie, on his page to the team. But now I sent him a message to see Metan, going, dude, on my personal thing, blah, blah, blah. All he needed to do as Umuntu is go, I'm fana hadi, yeah, bro. But for me, he doesn't respond. So I'm like, bruh, I wasn't gonna talk about this here, but I expect a lot more from you because there is no black-owned hip-hop journalism anyway. So chill.
Tricky.
For a guy for a guy of his caliber, he needs to understand. For a guy who raps that he does, he needs to understand what it means for a black person like myself to be doing what I am doing for my people. And I'm not perfect at it, and I don't always get it right. And I'm using my own resource. And I'm gonna say this again, I'm not perfect at it. I'm using my own resource. Yeah. For a guy of his caliber, he should understand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey.
But they should. I feel like you should have thought for future business, not just now.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about business, bro. It's values and it's principles.
It's the egos I was talking about.
You can't shoot the connect. You gotta think. If I say this, there's something in front.
But it's not even about. It's because I don't know when I'm gonna need Stogie also in life. Yeah. And he doesn't. And we are people. I could be stuck somewhere in Greenstone because maybe that's where he lives or whatever. I don't know.
But also, I think that you should differentiate your relationship because sometimes you feel that this person is my friend, but they feel like it's business.
I don't think.
It's not about friendship.
You fair. I don't think he's my friend.
It's about respect.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't have to be your best friend to respect you.
Yeah.
I come into a space, I greet you, I move aside, and I do what I need to do. The respect factor is just me greeting you and saying sharp and then moving on. I don't necessarily have to be calling you every day, giving you my problems. That's what Slikkour's kind of saying. But, dude, just from a respect perspective, as someone who knows where we come from, come on, do better, G. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think we're going to get Slikkour another glass of water.
Yeah, hey, because it's heating up here, man.
All right.
No, it is. But I mean, you asked me.
Yeah.
It's those things. But I don't like speaking on and this is the reason people go, why don't I respond? I'm not vocal on social media because for me, you gotta come see me face to face. You know what I mean? And if we're gonna fuck with each other, let's up each other. But the truth of the matter...
Can you throw a punch?
No, but you know what?
I've never seen Sia throw a punch.
No, but here's my thing. No, even before social media, if we were going to get into a physical fight, right? I know that I'm either going to win the fight or I'm going to lose the fight. But the one thing is that, like, when we step out the fight, anyone that fights, even if they beaten up the person, they respect the fight they had with the person.
Yeah.
Because you
pulled up.
Because you pulled up, you took it there.
You were there.
So when we saying fight, I ain't saying that I'm gonna beat up Dumi. I'm just saying,
You see the scars.
Sia's gonna jump on his car and speed off. Back to the East End, same time.
No. What I'm saying is that, like, I'm gonna make him sweat, bro. we gonna sweat it out. So for me, it's simple, you know, and that's why when I do my interviews, I'm super chilled with everybody because I know what it is to be contentious.
Yeah.
I know what it is to have beef. I know what it is to hate. I know what it is just to be disruptive. I know because we literally lived in places like that and we saw where it ends up. And we fought to get ourselves out there and even our kids. So why are we going to pull ourselves through people who never experienced it and they've either been always living in the suburbs or they've been living with privilege all the time and they think that like social media is a war place and everything else. We know what happens with hate. Hate literally has got the strongest and the fastest momentum. But being constructive has got the slowest momentum. So people are patient, are impatient with people that are kind, with people that are understanding, with people that are chill, that listen. And, you know, people think we're foolish because we do that. But we know what hate does.
He's still calling us fools, even 10 years later.
Nigga, I know what hate does.
All right, so since we're still a little heated up here on the podcast, we're going to jump straight into...
one of these Doritos hot ones.
I mean, we're going to find out whether it's really flaming hot or whether it's flaming not. We're going to get into the music and what's been dropping this past week. There's been a lot of music drops. Shout out to Gigi Lamayne. She dropped a full 19-track album this past Friday, Mermaids and stuff. Really dope to actually hear from her because she had been a little bit quiet on the album front. I mean, she had done a couple of features here and there, but from an album perspective, it's been a while. So big ups to her. 25K dropped the third single. Oh, okay.
We're popping, we're making sure we're ready.
Making sure they're ready.
Trap popping.
Yeah, so 25K dropped the third single. I'm waiting for the album. I don't know if he's dropping one single every week or what's going on, but hopefully the full album's coming soon.
Coming soon.
Priddy Ugly also dropped Soil. That's going to be coming from his album. The full album is out on the 28th of July. So this is just the first single called Soil. And who else dropped this week? It was Priddy Ugly, Gigi. Oh, Tshego. Tshego dropped 3-piece this past week as well. Beautiful stuff. But we got to collaborate and say whether we think it's flaming hot or flaming not. Yeah. Did you listen to the Gigi album? Let's start there.
I listened to the Gigi album. I'm a judge the Gigi album on different tiers, you know. Firstly, it's probably like one of her... She's probably put in the most work in putting the album together.
Yes.
That's Flamin Hot for that.
Yes, we're not.
You know? And second to that, I think that because there's so many people and so many features, so many people that come. I mean, you've got Soma, Josie, Aubrey, Nadia, Muslim. She's also
got
Bedu.
Yeah, so many females.
So many females.
For me, I thought that was a big shout out. So I loved all the female collaborations, all the features on the album. I think she definitely pulled out the stops on this one. Said, "Yo, she's doing a body of work for people to kind of hear her." She's still coming through as the Gigi that we know, so the bars are still there, which is what she'll always be known for. And there was one song that had like a little bit of a UK influence. I think it's called Mandingo or something. Like I could hear that because when I listened to the song, I was like, okay, I can see the grime coming through, but also it makes sense with the name of the track. My favorite song is a song that I've been playing on the Stir Up for a couple of weeks, which is called Feeling You, featuring Mikasa and Blackie. I dig it purely because it's a collaboration I didn't see coming. because Mikasa, Blackie, Gigi, Lamayne, would you ever put them on the same page?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, I thought that was really dope, and I like how it actually all kind of blends together. So for me, it's a Flamin Hot.
Me as well. Gigi, you're a hard worker. I love your work ethic.
I love like tracks like Emazulwini and Nota, where Gigi actually kind of opens up.
Yeah.
You know.
The one with Aubrey, no?
Yeah.
And Trust Biggie.
Yeah. And I think that generally though, what Gigi showcases on this album is a skill to master the transitioning of hardcore MC to singer. This album literally was really like a depiction of skills.
Yeah.
You know, of talent, musical skills versus a cohesion of a story. You know what I mean? That's what I felt about the album. It was like it just showed the multi-layered layers of the talent called Gigi versus like, okay, this is the cohesion of the album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it also shows her growth as well. Like you're mentioning the different versions of the skills coming through on the album. But I think for her, she was also just like, I've become a new person. And I think each song kind of tells a different story from that perspective. It's not a cohesive one story. It's just, okay, I went through this is what's happening in that song. I've gone through this is what's happening in that song. Shout out to Gigi.
Flip like Mermaids. I ain't heard that before.
All right. So coming up next, we've got Tshego with the 3-piece. He also dropped a 3-track EP. First song featuring Shikana, the second one with Blackie and Flame, and then the third one, New, he's on his own on that tune, right?
Yeah.
No. New is Blackie and Flame, and then the third track, he's on his own. Tshego also coming up, I think, having left Family Tree now, he's also kind of then saying, okay, I'm doing my own thing. The album was out. He's doing the EP to also still say, yo, I'm doing more music. I'm showing my range as well. I love the song with Shikana. I do think I haven't heard Shikana in a while. So for me, it was really awesome to hear that feature. Obviously, her album was amazing, but I think from a feature perspective, it was beautiful to kind of hear her on the song as well. Blackie and Flame, you can never go wrong with the hooking. Flame!
Right.
And the artwork as well. Tshego, I don't know who you're working on with that one, but fire.
I think that is a 3-piece.
Because it's a 3-track EP.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you didn't catch it. But anyway.
No, I got it. You know, I just wanted to make sure, you know, that it's not a 2-piece.
Oh, you see why I had to explain? Because I knew.
No, you know, the most powerful thing is that there's a frequency of creativity that Tshego has. Very high frequency. And even when you look at the features, it's like Shakina, Blackie right now, Flame. Like the frequency of all those people from a creative perspective. I'm not talking sales, I'm not talking nothing, I'm talking frequency of creativity is on this level.
Yeah.
That EP, literally for me, is one of those rare EPs. Well, it's a short EP. It's one of those rare EPs that like has the highest frequency of creativity stacked into like 3 songs and into a studio. So for me, that 3-piece EP is incredible, and it just shows you the type of artist that Tshego is, even for his selection of the people that have that he chose to feature there.
Yeah.
Very, very, very high frequency, creative with regards to the music.
Yeah. For me, look, I'm a big person with production.
Yeah.
If your production is on point, trust me, I listen.
Not a lot of people know that Tshego actually produces a lot of his own music. Like he actually sits there and makes sure and puts and only if he needs something extra. So if he needs like a drum or whatever, then he'll then say, okay, Gemini, help me with this piece.
Yeah.
Or he'll call anybody else and say, yo, help me. But otherwise, the actual body of work.
The production of this one is on fire. I'm not even going to lie to you.
I just leave it on the phone.
Yeah, hey.
I told you, see, his phone is on fire. It's even burning his head. Okay. Moving on to 25K. Explain to me what's going on there. What's with the one song every week story?
It's a build-up to the full project.
Oh, we're gonna wait 10 weeks for the whole album.
No, the project is coming now. It's coming So the album will be out this Friday.
Okay.
Album will be out this Friday. Very, very strong album. I've actually had the privilege of listening to it. It's very strong, very, what would I say? He brings you into a world. You know what I mean? I was saying that like it's one of those albums where, because I don't speak that
Half of the stuff I'm just like, what is he saying?
but like the thing is that I always say this. I also never knew what Dukes was saying half the time. You know what I mean? But I could feel, you know? And not that I don't hear what he's saying. I hear what he's saying, but like it's the way he delivers it. There's just something special about him. And he's one of those guys that has like that voice, you know, that's different, you know? And I was a bit confused because I was like, you talked about him earlier on, you know, Tato Soul.
Yeah, Tato Soul, yeah.
Yeah, there's a similarity, and I don't know whether it's a similarity of styles or is it influenced by where they come from?
It's a Pitori thing. Okay. I think it's an influence from Pitori because they all come from, you know, when they say you speak Pitori, you just feel like everyone says the same thing in the same accent. They all sound like the same person. Yeah. That's, I think, what the influence is coming through. Shout out to Tato Soul as well. His album with Mash Beats. With Mash Beats. Fire. So I do think it's a Pitori influence. I can't necessarily say from where because I'm not from there. Some people are from Peli, other people from Atteridgeville, other people are from Garanku, wherever you're from. It's a Pitori thing. That's why you can also sometimes hear it even in a folka. As much as he's obviously piano vibes, but when he does his hip hop, you can even hear that same accent, that same influence coming through because it's that region of hip hop. So shout out to the guys. I really think the music is fire. I'm hoping to hear, obviously, the full album.
It's dope.
On Friday. And I think it's also a project we've been waiting for a long time because after he had dropped his single, Concha, what was it called? Culture Vulture, yes. Ooh, you see, I'm old. Culture Vulture, I think everybody was just like, okay, where's the project? And then we waited. So now I think that's why everyone is in anticipation to be like, okay, let's hear the full thing. Even a friend of mine was saying when they heard Hustler's Ambition, they're like, how 25K can rap in English? I was like, because we've boxed him as Culture Vulture. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I want to hear now. I want to hear those surprises in the album.
Yeah, he you know what the album is going to make you see is that he's pretty woke. I had a long chat with DJ Slick and he was telling me about him before I met him, you know? And he's everything, you know, that he was saying. So I think he's pretty woke. He understands everything. His mind is on the money, you know. And he's literally like, this delay has been deliberate also, you know. Okay. So he's got a solid project coming out this Friday.
Have you listened to Trap Jumping?
Oh, I have. It's one I just have one question for him though. Your line where you say you don't tip cops. It must be based on a true story. That's what I'm saying.
Are you saying everyone in the art tips or something?
I'm like, hey, wait. Please, don't say things now. And next thing you know, you driving and you know. I call my people call him Tatum Coast. Yeah, they pull up and then
But I think he was more meaning like as a snitch.
Yeah.
Not as a vibe.
I take it in I feel like I take it in that way as well. Like,
okay, well, it could be a bit ambiguous, but I got what you're saying.
But there's a lot of snitch rats and money talk on that album. A lot of gang street on that album. So yeah, it's one of those albums that like that reflects that.
Flamin Hot, Flamin Not. Flamin Hot. Shout out.
It's one of the standout tunes. Trap Jumping is one of the standout tunes in the album.
Shout out. Okay. Last song, Pretty Ugly, Soil. Dropped it this past Friday. The album is going to be coming out this Friday.
No, it's coming out next week Monday.
No, the other Monday. Yes, on the 28th. I'm so used to Friday drops. That's the thing.
Yeah, it was a weird
28th of July. That's when it's going to be dropping. Have you listened to Soil?
Yeah. How could you not? It was all over Twitter. Everyone was commenting about it. For me, I felt like he's bringing real rap, if I may say it. He's rapping, like proper old school, bringing it back. Where you need to listen to his bars to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It needs to hit you, you feel it.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. And I was like, okay, finally something that I don't need to I'm always here
Yeah.
in the club but now I can just chill and literally listen to what he's saying and be like, I feel you.
That's the one thing I like about Pretty Ugly is that he forces you to listen.
Yeah.
Because you'll miss some of his metaphors if you don't actually open your ear and listen. And that's what I dig about this song as well. Also forcing us to listen, especially in a climate like now where everything is piano, everything is noise, everything is up and down. You actually get to sit and be like, okay, let me work my mind a little bit. So he's doing that with this single, obviously then showing you good to the rest of the album, better watch out for it. So digging it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Soil is dope. I actually also got the album also.
So let's look up here, guys.
Got the full album.
Yeah, I've got the album. I mean, like,
for us civilians.
Yeah, we'll get it later. Do you know what Slikour does? Is that he'll call you and he'll blow up your phone. Yeah, so exclusive. Can I just listen? Want to? And then you're just like, you're in a corner to the point you're like, okay, sharp, here you go.
You do it for that. But that's work, right? It's work. You got to do it. No, but like obviously when we do sit there with Priddy, because when I don't like also speaking about nothing. When I'm sitting with an artist. And I want to talk about their music because that's what matters to me.
Yeah.
I don't know and I don't care about all these other things happening in their lives. I don't know those things. I'm a fan of the music.
Yeah.
Do you dig? So I have to listen to the music. So Soil for me, incredible. One thing I like about Priddy also is that he's as he says, he's a pretty boy, but like and he doesn't compromise on that aesthetic. Even when you see the video of Soil, if you take down the volume and you watch that video, it's like you shoot Yamahang. You understand? It's like a shoot for hugs,
So would you feature in that shoot?
I don't know, I'm a punk. It's like a shoot Yamahangs, and like when you watch that video, you go, I love the fact that like it's accompanied by lyricism.
Yeah.
And what Priddy, like when I heard the album, what Priddy reminds me of is that, with the culture, we got to be so involved that I love hearing the Priddy lyrical stuff that I actually started writing, while I was listening to Priddy's album. I was listening to Priddy, I was going to go get your jab.
Pella, we're under 35, Atina.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse us.
Sorry.
Madala. Okay?
I need to say, let's meet in the streets. I'm talking about this chat,
Oh, sure, bro.
Yeah. But then, nonetheless, I was listening to it and it makes me want to write.
Nice.
And this is what people don't understand about hip hop. It's like, you got to listen to someone like Priddy and it makes you want to write, right? I can see someone like, say, and I'm going to use another random name. I can see someone like Casper, right? And he might not make me want to write, but he might inspire me to want to go hustle harder.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the beauty of hip hop music.
Yeah.
It's that like one person doesn't have to give you everything. It's got a collective of people who could, like that one, I just want to go right. That one just makes me want to just go hustle harder. You listen to Blackie and his melodies. I just want to I want to do a rock. I want to sing. You know what I mean? It's that type of thing. You know what I mean? So what Priddy literally did well, where you might get like, say, Casper will inspire you to kind of like work harder or do whatever you need to do. You might get a Black who will make you sing, do a little bit more sing-alongs or whatever the case be. What that album does or what Priddy does, he literally, if you are really into like the music, he'll literally make you want to rap.
Nice.
And I think people literally, or if you're not a rapper, he'll make you actually appreciate the knowledge that rap can give you. So I think that people need to get that out, check that out. It's a hot one.
Shout out. All right, so that's our Flamin Hot, Flamin Not for this week. Before we do wrap up though, I did want to kind of just have a short chat, Slikour, please. Anyway, so I did want to kind of have a short chat, especially because we're in a space like drama, where a lot of young artists come through and they try to get their music out here, they try to get their faces seen. in a space that we're in right now, especially where, okay, obviously right now it's closed because level 4, but when things do open up again, obviously Amapiano is taking over the globe. And I say globe because you see our own artists traveling the world, Kenya, Tanzania, London, the likes of. What's the space for South African hip-hop artists, and how can they kind of bring themselves into a place like Drama? Do you look at young artists for them to jump on a stage to perform here? And Sia, also now when you are listening to some music, because you play a lot of unknown artists as well, is there something specific you look for you to actually put it on the website, or do you just drop it on because you feel like, here's the platform, everybody just rock, you know?
Okay, for me, representing, of course, Drama, it's based in Braam, you know, where the new kids, the new wave, that's what we're trying to push now. It's all about what more can you do, if I may say that. It's not just about, okay, I'm a rapper. There's a lot of rappers. There's a lot of things. What else? How are you different? You understand? If you coming, let's say you want a booking at Drama, I'll say, okay, cool. Number one, let me first give a tip before I say anything, and let me comment on this. If you are an upcoming rapper, or not even on the charts, or not like you're just trying to be somewhere, don't have a manager. Number one.
What?
No, don't.
Do you know how many times you said people need a manager on the show?
You know how frustrating it is.
Or maybe you need the right manager.
You know what? As a manager is not a right manager if you're not doing, how can I say, if you don't have the deals yet as a manager. If you don't need to call a manager, someone that's there. If I call a manager and I'll be like, I call a manager because I cannot get through to the artist. Number one, they're either too busy or they're too big to be taking my calls right now. So I need them for my space. I'll call. That's when I call the manager. Besides the manager, okay, manager does whatever. But if you are thinking of, oh no, I want to be a rapper, I've got 1,000 followers and I'm just starting, I want to try and get there, I need a manager. Why? Like for what?
Okay.
Hustle yourself, man. Come to me. I'm here. You'll see. When you get into a space, you come into a space, you find out who. Ask anyone who runs the space. Number one. When you see that person, if this is for me, if you want to see me, you come, buy me a shot.
No,
I'm being serious. No. Huh? I'm not saying it as bribing or something. Yeah. No. Besides that, you as an artist, you know already, or me, I know already what they want. Already, I know. Someone just say, hi, I know already. Oh, no, that's someone else wants to perform. You already know. But now I'm thinking, spend time, know what's the venue about, number one. Because people come here, and I always ask this thing, and I take it as a joke. When someone comes, I'm like, okay, what do you perform? Oh no, what do they play here? What do they perform here? You haven't even been to the venue. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You don't know what time the venue opens. You know in terms of the crowd, what type of crowd is here? Do they relate with my music? Number one, do they relate with your music?
Yeah.
You understand?
You want them to come and check the vibe.
Check the vibe out. Yeah. Come, support the business. You understand? And then when I say support the business, make sure you're there. You see me or you come to me. Hey, remember, I'm this person. Check out my things. Can you please have time? Can I schedule you when we're not busy? While you working and you have 1,000 things on your head, can I schedule a meeting with you next week when you're free?
Yeah.
I want to show you something. And then that's when you prepare yourself. Hey, this is what I can bring to your venue. This is what I'm worth. This is the reason. Because you must understand, as much as people look at it like it's just a booking, it's not. We're investing. Yeah. Because you might blow up from a booking.
Yeah.
You understand? I've seen it. I've seen people blow up from a small booking, blow up from there to a place where they don't even, I'm phoning, speak to my manager, do that. You understand? I've seen it. And we are a brand on our own.
Yeah.
So as a normal brand, you would want to align with brands that work with your venue, that build your venue. Either gives it a good name or bad. It will give it your name can give it a bad name as well. You understand? And there's different things that go in the venue. There's the background. If I explain to you, we'll sit here the whole day.
Yeah.
But know your value, number one. Work on your image, number two. Build your social media. That's the key part. Build it. Like, for real, build it. Like, get someone and be like, oh, if you don't get someone, do it yourself. Get your page up, man. Get your page up. Let us see. What's this guy doing? Oh, what's this guy doing? And you come to a venue, support the venue. Don't just do, and once you get that booking, if I say, oh, this guy's been here, he's been supporting. Oh, he's doing his birthday here. Okay, cool. All right, it's your birthday. Let me hear your song. Oh, your songs are good enough. Let me put you on. Let's see if you can relate on this day, because as a venue, we know which artists, and that, it's not just like, oh no, Ms. Cosmo, we're going to book you this Friday because we want to book you.
Yeah.
No, we know why we're booking you.
Yeah.
We know that, oh, okay, there's going to be a lot of ladies here.
Yeah.
Let's book ladies. Let's get someone who can play ladies vibe, or let's get a performance that ladies like. Or no, that's how we work. So when you do these things, you need to know your value. You need to know what you're bringing to the table. This is what I'm bringing to the table. This is me. Support the venue, get to know the venue, get to know the person who runs the venue, and don't just do it as a once-off, oh, I got my booking and that's it. Because once someone sees a flyer, oh, you're a drama, that's when other venues start looking at you. Yeah. Because they look at your value as in, oh, so you are good enough for drama to book you. That means that you have value. I can invest in you. That's why I said it's investment. I can invest in you. Then you're looking at, oh, now altitude or something. Now, oh, they're going to pay, oh, drama. They invested. It's a good investment.
Do you think it's important? Do you think it's important for you, because you're a DJ, do you think it works to your advantage that you at least have that ear to then at least be able to book the artist?
I do. And I have that ear where it's not even that. What helps me is that I know the kind of crowd. Like, I can literally tell a DJ, you're set, bro, like, all honesty.
Yeah, go work on it.
Hey, dog, you know.
Yeah.
I literally, that's me. I'll go and I'll speak to you nicely. Hey, you're set, it wasn't, next time when you come, can you please switch it up? Because I know as a DJ, this is what you're supposed to play at this time. This is what you're supposed to play at this time. Just so the vibe cannot, it won't be like this. It's building. Yeah. That's how it is. It's always a building. There's different times that we have that we know where it should be. Yeah. And if you're looking at, hey, it's 9 or it's 10, but people are still sitting and numbers are not moving by the bar. Hey, this guy, there's something. We always blame the DJ. I'm not going to lie. Everyone blames the DJ. Don't let them lie to you. We blame the DJ. It doesn't matter if it was...
Sometimes it's the sound.
The DJ.
Sometimes it's the technician.
No, it's not. It's the DJ. He's not playing the right music. Because the music, it's a whole mixture, man. Like, to have a night, guys, you don't know how much goes into it. It's a mixture, it's ingredients. Yeah. There's some nights where it's like a cake. If you put just a little bit too much, it flops. You understand? It tastes bad. Same as a nightclub, same as whatever goes in. If the DJs are not right, if the music's not right, if the service is not good, we're going to have a flop night.
Tricky, yeah. So, of course, obviously, you heard it from the man himself. You need to make sure you put it together, because if you don't put it together, we're not going to hear you, we're not going to feel you, because music is about feeling. Sia?
Look, I mean, we have, from listening perspective, it's gone from me doing all the listening to other people that also have an ear to listen to the music, because there's some things that maybe also don't resonate to me also, you know. No, there's just some things that it's like some things that some guys are saying, like, you like, no. I've heard this before, you know. But then you might find that some people are saying some things that you've heard before, but like people are loving that thing.
Okay.
But you, because you're just listening for the music, and the music, you're like, pindam zalala. So for me, the key thing, it's always been, it's always the music. I don't know half of the faces that I play music. I mean, the people that come to me and go, oh, you did the... I'm like, I'm always thinking people are trying to rob me or give me COVID. You know what I mean? So I'm like, but like, truth of the matter is that for me, it's always the music first. Second to that, then, you know, we also see it's the same thing that you say. We also go, how consistent are you? There are some people we put on simply because they're consistent, you know, or some people literally, like, we tell, hey, your song is, but maybe you should try do this. And then they change it, you know, and then they try. And then the second try is not the one. Then, like, maybe a year later, they literally send you a mail on the same thread that you gave them feedback. And they go, this is what I fixed, blah, blah. You didn't do, okay, cool. I think it's ready now. So it's always about people that also listen. And And I think that like from the artist's perspective, artists also need to decide, especially like in the rap space, they need to decide whether they are following sounds or whether they are creating sounds. And it's the artists that are following sounds that struggle the most versus the artists that are actually like trying to create new sounds but are integrating what's already being followed. You know what I mean? So I think for our listening criteria is always based on how good the music is, you know, and your consistency and your drive. You know, it's not this once off, then it's like, okay, cool. I keep on trying to either work on the music or here's my other single, whatever the case be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So keep on pushing. And of course, here are some of the people that you need to speak to. If you're an up-and-coming artist and you want to get yourself out there, you got to get your music on the platform, but you also got to come to the club. Because if people don't see you perform, that's also just a very important factor. I've had a lot of songs that I've listened to where I was like, hey, and then I see the performance and I'm like, oh, actually, maybe pay attention to the song again. So both facets are very important on both sides. All right, so with that.
All right, so this is a tradition at Java. So when we have
I was about to close off.
Hold on, when we have a celebration or someone to celebrate or a celeb or, you know, in thing that's going on here, you have to sign on the wall.
Okay.
As you can see, we have all the artists, influences.
Okay.
So we gotta make sure.
Okay.
Get it going. Choose a spot.
Yeah.
Choose a spot.
I hope you choose like a small area.
You can stand on the couch, it's fine.
Do you want me to pick you up?
You see now. Yeah, boy, young choice. And this guy's gonna want to write on the whole wall there or something. I don't know.
That's why I wanted to make sure if I can.
Taking the middle.
I'll take the spot. Take it.
It's harassment emsebenzini.
Yes. There you go.
Can I write in between here?
You can, yeah. You know, so you can brag to your kids when when we still standing. You say, yo.
And say, I was here.
I was here.
And we're gonna get Dimples to sign on behalf of POPcast after this, because you know he doesn't like the front of the camera. Anyway.
Let me put the eye.
Anyway. I only do it to you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. This was our episode of POPcast. Remember to keep on subscribing, keep on commenting, keep on liking, keep on supporting us right here on the POPcast. And of course, I did mention to you that we will be back again with Slikour, with Scoop. Scoop, not Slick. So the other Siyabonga, he'll be back again next week for our Pop Radio episode. He's not gone. He's just taking, just a week with the family. We'll be back, of course. Hey, always. And of course, I'll still be here giving you the real views after this. All right, so we're still here on the POPcast with myself, Ms. Cosmo, giving you real views for this week. Of course, there's been a lot that's happened in the past week. The last episode of POPcast I had recorded just before Jiva had actually been released. Just my thoughts on how Jiva Netflix actually came through. I watched the episodes. I think it's amazing how they're trying to integrate music, dance, film all together. A big shout out going out to Buntle Morisele, who was head choreographer. She was also in the show. Also to the fact that her sister's in the show as a lead actress. This is one of the shows that she was working on. I remember when we had her on the POPcast some time back and she had mentioned that she was working on something big. Jiva was it. And you can see with the amount of attention to detail that was put in the show, really amazing. My star performer for Jiva was definitely Snembata, because I only know her as a dancer. But when she came through as a main character, she literally blew me away. So from an acting perspective, shout outs to her. Really hoping to see her on screen a little bit more. There was a movie that I watched this past week, which I think we also need to kind of check out. It's on Showmax. It's called Pearls of Wisdom. And it has been being advertised in between some of the telenovelas that actually air on One Magic. And it's nice to see, obviously, I recognize him as Murena from The River. And the young girl who's the lead actress was on Isbaya. So you see them in a movie space. The story definitely talks about a rags to riches type of story, and talking about a girl who goes to a new school, basically a little bit Mean Girls-ish, but also coming through with a South African feel with a lot more drama coming into the movie. Nice, fun movie to kind of watch, especially if you like your telenovelas and your stories and your soapies, that type of vibe, it will fit straight into that. I do have one comment though, is that I wasn't too impressed with the scoring on the movie. I'm not too sure whether it was a licensing issue, whatever the case may be, but there were a few blank spots which I would have felt needed a little bit more music on the song. I mean, on the movie itself. But otherwise, great cinematography, great capturing. Check it out. Just from a perspective, obviously supporting local, but also if you watch all of these soapies, Isibaya, The River, Skimsam, you'll definitely enjoy this movie. So check it out. Pearls of Wisdom, that's on Showmax.
It's been a minute since we've seen you guys. Well, it's time for Artscape POPcast for real. On our last Artscape, we featured Amasosha art movement operating from Ekomkhulu Art Space Pa eThekwini in Durban. Well, this week we're in Joburg, but we're sticking with art spaces and we're covering Butu Project Space. Butu Project Space was started by the formidable Nelson Makamo and his team. And the aim of the project space is obviously to shed light on exposed, unknown, and semi-known artists. The first work that really caught my attention while I was there was Zweletu Machepa. And this was in collaboration with Themba Khumalo. Look at that work. Just the fact that this guy, Stradweni, and he's carrying the whole Joburg on that trolley. Nice one, Bafethu. Next. Also work that caught my attention, Losisi Beningamazi tu, but I am an avid follower now and I love the emotion that she brings out in her work just so simply. Igama lakhe nguZandile Tshabalala, and this is her work. And last but not least, Petsu, peep the work of Frans Toka. This guy is amazing. You might not see what's amazing about it until you watch this video, made by me when I was at the gallery. Check it out.
Texture. It looks like charcoal, but it's actually blankets and stuff. That's cloth. Do you understand? That's cloth. It looks like charcoal. So I'm my man. You see, it looks like charcoal, but it's cloth, guys. However, hey, Frans Toka, we in King boy.
Babetu, it's Artscape. Now, I don't want to sit here and describe how this work affects me, but it's art. It's open to your interpretation. So all I can do is say the artist's name and you go out there and discover and follow. Unfortunately, the exhibition ended on the 26th of June, but please do check out these artists. Zweletu Machepa, Zandile Tshabalala, and Frans Toka. Dankie, Butu Project Space. Ayo, I'm in the Eastern Cape. I'll be back next week. But shout-outs to you, Siyabonga, for replacing me as a Siyabonga. And shout-outs to you, Diego Maradona. Squad goals on the POPcast. Peace. Hope you guys enjoying the ep.